Hello, my name is Ingmar Winderick. I'm from Belgium. I've been a football coach in Hangzhou for 5 years. I love my life in this vibrant city with its beautiful scenery. Let me introduce you to the ruins of Imperial City of the Southern Song Dynasty. The splendid Chinese culture has remained for thousands of years. As a symbol of the central power, the capitals of the feudal dynasties of past ages have numerous cultural remains about the past glory. Hangzhou is a city of historical and cultural importance and one of the 7 ancient capitals of China. It boasts a civilized history of 8,000 years and a founding history of 5,000 years. There were in particular 4 notable cultural eras over the past 8,000 years, namely the Huahu Bridge era, Lianzhu era, Wuyue era, and the Southern Song era. And the last one was the prime of the ancient China. As the emperor and his family fled to Lin'an, the city was upgraded as a national capital. This was a fundamental change. Hangzhou therefore became the national center of politics, economy, science, education, and culture. The emperor built his palace on the foothills of Phoenix Mountain. When the scale of the whole imperial city reached the peak over expansions and reconstructions, it became such a spectacular complex that could parallel the previous one in the north. Their imperial city had about 30 grand halls and countless pavilions, terraces, towers, and gazebos. The imperial city made the most of mountain shape. The prime palace was put higher in the south to present an imposing look. However, the Southern Song regime was falling into decay. In 1276, a mighty general, Boyan, invaded the imperial city with his large army and caused an unprecedented disaster. A year later, the palaces were severely damaged by a fire. When the Yuan regime was established, the cultures of the previous Song dynasty were being swept out. As the rulers ordered to convert the remaining palaces into Buddhist monasteries, the once spectacular Southern Song imperial city disappeared. In 1359, a rebel leader Zhang Shicheng came to reconstruct the capital. Many thought it was the chance for the imperial city to once more see the light of the day. However, the site of Imperial City was excluded from the reconstruction plan. In between 1573 and 1620, the Imperial City that had weathered the turbulent times was sadly reduced to ruins. The surface buildings were long gone and the remains were buried deep underground. It was an irreversible loss. Only brief records in the literature could be found regarding the extent of the Imperial City. For the constant changes of toponyms, it is now difficult to accurately define its location based on documents alone. With more than 20 years of archaeological efforts, the location was primarily confirmed. It was from the eastern foothills of Mantu Mountain in the east to Phoenix Mountain in the west, and south to the Songcheng Road and north to the south of Wansun Ridge. The Imperial City ruins cover an area of around 500,000 square meters. With the Imperial City as the core, the ruins of Lin'an City were named by the State Council as a key historical site under the state protection in 2001. The ruins were also put on the list of the 100 Great Ruins in the 11th 5-year plan 5 years later. The scope of the comprehensive protection is not only for the Imperial City itself, it also reaches to the ruins of Lin'an City in the surrounding areas together with the ruins of the Shou Palace inside. The Shou Palace was built in 1162 as the residence of Emperor Gaozong when he stepped down from the throne. It sits opposite to the Imperial City from a distance. The palace used to be the residence of Qin Hui, a notorious sycophantic official in the Song dynasty. After Qin's death, the palace was nationalized for a new building. In 1162, Emperor Gaozong moved in and renamed it the Shou Palace. As a sign of respect, his son Emperor Xiaozong expanded the palace time and again, which was named Bei-nei or North Palace at the time. In those days, the Shou Palace was orientated north and south, covering an area of 170,000 square meters. Its layout was similar to that of the Imperial City. There were like a dozen halls in the palace, such as the Shou Hall, Apsidal Hall, Lingzhi Hall, Shooting Hall, Sleeping Hall, Dining Hall, and a few more. The palace was also a treasure house of garden landscapes, which looked even more sophisticated than the Imperial City. The ruins of the Shou Palace never saw the daylight in the past 800 years. It was not until 1984, when the ruins were found, The 4 excavations took scientists nearly 20 years. In 2001, they carried out an archaeological excavation on the northeast corner of Wangjiang Road and Middle Zhonghe Road. Some of the ruins were exposed. The reconstruction of the Shou Palace started at the end of 2020, and it was scheduled to open to the public in September 2022. The everlasting project to recreate the charms of the imperial palace in the eras of Emperor Gaozong and Xiaozong is set to be unveiled. It will be the first grand architectural museum to demonstrate the history and culture of the Southern Song Dynasty. From the Song to the present, 1,000 years have passed. The thriving economy and culture of the Song Dynasty exerted a profound influence on later ages. To this day, Chinese people's aesthetics and values are still heavily influenced by the so-called Song's lifestyle. In 2021, the provincial authority proposed the Song Dynasty Culture Inheritance Action Plan. This is an overall work plan to excavate, protect, improve, study and inherit the charms of the Song Dynasty. The comprehensive protection of the ruins of the imperial city is in the process for the continuation of the Song heritages. To continue the history and make the imperial city a world cultural heritage, which has been people's long expectation and mission that should never fail. Hangzhou欢迎你